Hi guys, Pauline here. So it's International Taekwondo Day and I decided to share my journey in this sport that I've grown to love so much. So
people expect you to win.
today I decided to do my skincare routine.
I can't with her.
Taekwondo originated in Korea, and in the beginning I really didn't know what or how it was different compared to other sports like karate or jiu-jitsu or judo, but the methods of Taekwondo, or for my part, kurugi, which is sparring, it's full of like offensive and defensive techniques where you fight someone standing up with your hands up like in a fighting stance, and it's not like the grappling or rolling on the floor, but that's the methods of Taekwondo. And the other side is called Pomse, where you do an art form, you perform and judges would score you or you practice it. So I knew about Taekwondo because I knew that my dad used to compete back then, but I didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was just, fighting or some sort of like Tekken style of fighting. Yeah, that was like my first encounter with it. But I started to learn and understand it when I was watching my dad teach. So I was about, I want to say like 7 to 8 years old, watching my dad teach a class, and I decided I wanted to join. I wanted to learn what the other kids were doing and how they were doing it and how I can do that. And especially during that time, there weren't a lot of female athletes or female Taekwondo practitioners during that time. So I decided I wanted to learn. Not that I was natural at it at first, but I was so intrigued and so challenged because I couldn't do some of the techniques right away. So that was one that really kept me going to the classes. I wanted to learn more and more, and I wanted to keep challenging myself and whatever my instructor was making us do. And if I couldn't do it, I would try and challenge myself. By today I'll get this down, or by the end of this week I'll learn this form or this sparring technique. So that's how it all began. I started training, just started to learn it when I was 8 or 9, but I really took it seriously when I turned 11 or around 12. More so 11, because that's when the Olympics, that's when I started to watch the Olympics, and then I started to watch the Taekwondo matches. I saw, my former seniors representing the Philippines, and it was just so amazing and something I really decided I wanted to pursue. What attracted me the most is I saw the complexion, or no, the composure of all Taekwondo athletes that were around me. They were really disciplined, committed to the sport, and on top of that, they had time management down. And I thought to myself, I feel like this is something I can do and pursue, and that kept me there. And on top of that, it's the values that were taught to me, values that you could use outside of the sport, whether it's in your academic life, working with a relationship with your family, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or something like that. So after I tried it, what made me stay in the sport until today? Like I've said earlier, it's the challenge that it brings me. I really like that, and going above and beyond your limit. I think that's what this sport has taught me. It's not just in the sports, but also outside of the sport. So I've been representing the Philippines since I was 13 years old. I started in 2010, and I just kept flying back. I felt like I spent most of my high school life in the Philippines, even if I was going to school in the States. I spent most of the months training and competing every 2 or 3 months, representing the Philippines, and then I had to go back to the States. So it was hard because I was doing a lot of online school, doing school while I was in competition to keep up, to graduate on time in high school. So in 2016, I decided to officially move to the Philippines, and then I took 2 gap years and decided to really dedicate my 2 years to trying to make it to the Olympics. And unfortunately, I didn't get the ticket. However, I thought to myself, why shouldn't I just move to the Philippines? It'll be much easier for me instead of flying back and forth, and I'll constantly be with my coaches and my teammates who are there. And I decided that Ateneo would be the best fit for me. So yeah, the 3 major things. The first thing I always talk about, the life tenets this sport has given me. I remember it by I kind of put acronyms. It's called SMIPE. So SMIPE. It means self-confidence, modesty, indomitable spirit, perseverance, and etiquette. So that's technically 5 things, but that's like the first part. The second thing I've learned is discipline. Learning how to discipline yourself and knowing what to do and when to do it at the right time. I think that, and discipline, that could mean anything actually. It's like there's time management, learning how to wake up, putting an alarm on your phone, making your bed, cleaning the house, helping your parents, helping your siblings, mom, dad, coaches, teammates. I think that's all part of it. And lastly, it's to always appreciate and be grateful for the people around you. I've learned to always look back and thank people around me who's helped me get to where I am, or who's, just the littlest help and just the littlest thank you goes a long way. I've been doing Taekwondo for close to 15 years now, 10 years with the national team, and I always say this, I love this sport, I'm really passionate about this sport, and I think it goes for any. Taekwondo isn't just a sport to me, it goes beyond that. What the story that I always remember is, I remember competing here, a local tournament, then I saw little toddlers come up to me and say, "I could please get a picture with you," and I remember hearing a story saying, "Oh, you're the reason why I keep continuing this sport, you're the reason why I've had this dream to also make the national team or to also compete." So that story actually inspired me even more, and made me understand that it goes beyond sport. If I can just, inspire someone, even just by a little bit, to continue their dreams, I think that also goes a long way. I've had seniors and I've had great examples who did that for me, and I hope to continue that for the next generation. I think it's the challenge that it brings me in every training, tournament, and all of that. It is definitely challenging. I love fighting. I love the feeling that you have when you're fighting before and after. And on top of that, it's amazing how many people you meet and you get to know their stories, you get to meet them, and the culture that I get to experience when I compete abroad. It's amazing. You get to see the world in a different lens, and you get to learn a lot. So that's something that Taekwondo has brought me. Not just, the kicking and punching and stuff, but also the relationships that this sport brings you. My fighting edge. I feel like with my fighting style, so my division is 57 kilograms. It's a featherweight division. I usually am either just an average height or I'm pretty short in my division, but I feel like a lot of fighters kind of underestimate me, or they just kind of see the height and maybe think that, oh, this girl is not that good or she's short, but I think that's an edge. On top of that, I feel like I'm a bit resilient to always losing. I've had so many losses, but then it still keeps me here and know that you can always learn from your mistakes. So I'm known for always kicking with my right leg. I feel like I've mastered that, and I'm also a southpaw stance, so I like using my front leg a lot. But one thing I could definitely improve on is using my left leg. I'm capable of using it. I feel like I'm ambidextrous. However, I feel like my right leg is more powerful, so yes, definitely working on my left leg. And on a side note, my favorite kick to use when I'm fighting is definitely a right leg head kick, whatever it may be. That's kind of like a specialty maybe. Yes. So what is the highlight of your career so far? I feel like it's 2016 Asian Taekwondo Championships. That has got to be like my best fight one. Definitely a highlight because I became the first woman to ever get a gold medal from the Philippines, so that's really amazing. I can never forget that tournament. 3 most influential people in your Taekwondo career. So one of them is definitely have to be my dad. He has definitely played a big role into getting to where I am now. Although I've never really had him sit in my chair, he's taught me how to have that mentality, tough love type of mentality, and it's gotten me far. Next would definitely have to be my first real coach. His name is Walter Dean Vargas. He also represented the Philippines. Back then he was also an Olympian. He competed in numerous Asian games, SEA games, and he's been a champion for 6 years straight. Crazy. He still coaches now in the States, in California. Every time I go home, I visit him, and we also train together. And like it was yesterday that I was training with him. But yes, he definitely has a big influence in my Taekwondo career. And lastly would definitely have to be Grandmaster Hong. He's the father of Philippine Taekwondo. He's given me so many opportunities to represent the Philippines, and he continuously believes in me and what I do. Even if I've lost so many tournaments, he continued to support me and keep investing in not just me but the whole Philippine Taekwondo team to get our overall dream, which is an Olympic medal. So yes, thank you guys so much for your support and for helping me reach my dreams. So I honestly think if you're thinking of trying out Taekwondo, I urge you to try it and pursue it. One, because it's a great exercise. You'll definitely be physically fit, and on top of that, you will learn a lot of things and how to conquer your fears and how you can be mentally fit as well. So there. Two, you could learn self-defense. There's a lot of techniques that Taekwondo has that you can use outside of the sport, but it is a self-defense, so you can't just go around, kicking people just because that's not what Taekwondo is. And honestly, this sport taught me a lot of values that you can bring in your home and you can apply it to your everyday life. And lastly, I know it's not always easy to start something new, but it doesn't hurt to try. So yes, guys, try Taekwondo. I cannot wait to see your videos. Please tag me. And I also see in my social media accounts the messages you guys send. It's so overwhelming but also heartwarming. So thank you so much, and I hope I continue to make you guys proud and instill some inspiration and motivation to pursue you guys' dreams in your lives. So yes, thank you for tuning in, and catch you guys on my next vlog. Take care and be safe. God bless.